What's going on, everybody? Hopefully, having a great day. And if you are, awesome. If you had a bit of a troubling day, then maybe I can create a few moments where you can kind of separate from it all and enjoy yourself. So we kind of have been starting our NFL preview series of videos. You have to check out the last video where I talked about the top 10 quarterbacks. I gave my list. In this episode, we're going to talk about, well, we had cut down day yesterday. So we talk about some of the news that happened around the NFL surrounding the basically getting everybody down to your 53-man roster for week one. Then I was thinking about, well, what will I do leading up to next Thursday when the season starts? So I can let you know that we'll be doing a video on my playoff predictions. I'll give my Super Bowl matchup, of course. And what I'm really excited for is week one NFL picks are coming next week. As you already know, I love doing NFL picks. I do them against the spread. So I can't wait to get that going again. That's going to be a regular for, I guess, Friday's video. You can kind of expect picks for the upcoming weekend. Now, I do know we have Thursday night games. I know that. And those will kind of be part of the Wednesday video. And then Monday night football and all that will probably tie into the video on Monday, of course. So trust me, I'll have you covered once the NFL season starts. Then, looking forward as well. Like I said, Lions Chiefs next week. So Wednesday we'll kind of preview that game. I'll give you my pick on Wednesday for opening night, which I cannot wait. We're so close. So close. A week away. I feel like all this time I've been saying like less than 2 weeks. We're actually only a week and a day. So I cannot wait. But like I said, this episode, we're going to talk about cut down day, some of the news that happened. Let's go ahead and get into it. You already know you got to pull up the side by side because that's how we roll on here. Jonathan Taylor. So we knew that there was this imposed deadline for Tuesday, cut down day, for a trade to happen for Jonathan Taylor. So Tuesday's come and gone. Jonathan Taylor is still an Indianapolis Colt. I believe he's on the PUP list, so he has to miss the first 4 games, I believe. There's also a Halloween deadline or something like that. Look, I knew a trade wasn't going to happen. I think a lot of people realize the situation we're in, where Jim Irsay came out. He said what he had to say again about running backs, led to a reaction from Jonathan Taylor. If you pay enough attention to Jim Irsay, he's not going to do something that somebody else wants him to do. In this case, Jonathan Taylor wanted out. Jim Irsay's not going to do that. Jim Irsay is going to do what Jim Irsay wants to do. And in this case, he just wants to be a little much. Most organizations, and once again, I keep referring to Jim Irsay like he's the GM. He's not. You got Chris Ballard, who did come out and say this whole situation stinks, not only for Jonathan Taylor, but for the Indianapolis Colts. Chris Ballard might have the toughest job in the NFL because he has to deal with Jim Irsay constantly getting in the way of him performing his own job. So the Colts came out and said they didn't get any fair value for Jonathan Taylor. We learned that I think 2 teams made an offer. Plenty of others were interested. I think there was talks yesterday of a surprise team getting into it. I believe today we learned the Green Bay Packers were trying to get Jonathan Taylor, which if you think about it is kind of interesting because they already have Aaron Jones, they have A.J. Dillon, but they're looking at Jonathan Taylor. So I guess what could have been. But yeah, so Jonathan Taylor's going to stick with the Colts. I don't know how long this is going to last. At this point, you just hope Jonathan Taylor can find a way to probably get out of Indy. But there's a chance there's probably a good chance that he ends up playing with the Colts after a couple of weeks. Then, yeah, I guess we'll go through this once again next season. Next up, Joe Burrow. Been a while since we heard the name. It was what, end of July. He hurt his calf in practice, or it was a joint session. One of those. He hurt his calf. He practiced for the first time since then, so over a month. Today. Sorry. That kind of lets me know, which I kind of felt anyway. Joe Burrow is going to start week 1. So it's hard to break your hearts, AFC North fans who might have thought, hey, Burrow misses a couple of weeks, they struggle. Maybe we got a shot in that division. It looks like Burrow's going to be good to go week 1. He practiced without the compression sleeve on his leg. That's obviously a good sign. I mean, we know Joe Burrow's a tough guy, and the Bengals have a lot of expectations this season. I feel like most fans will probably pick the Bengals to win the division. Although it's going to be a very tough division because the Steelers are always going to be there and play these teams tough. The Browns are going to be much improved off of last season, I believe. The Ravens are there. You say what you want about the Ravens. Whether you think highly of them or not, they're still going to be a factor in this division. But for Bengals fans, knowing that Joe Burrow's back practicing without any limitations, definitely a good sign, as we are once again. Just a day over a week away from the start of the season. So yeah, Joe Burrow and the Bengals look like they're ready to hit the ground running week 1. Joshua Dobbs. If you didn't know who this was, I can't say I blame you necessarily, but Joshua Dobbs, formerly the Titans, the Browns. Maybe you know him from playing at the University of Tennessee. But did you know that he's most likely a starting quarterback in this league once again? He was traded to Arizona a few days ago. But with a cut-down day, the Cardinals cut Colt McCoy, who was seemingly going to be the week 1 starter with Kyler Murray not being available. But if Colt McCoy's gone, aren't we to expect that Joshua Dobbs is going to be the starting quarterback? Just saying. They do have Clayton Tune, who I think some people kind of like a little bit, but kind of weird with the timing. They trade for Dobbs, cut McCoy, who is going to be the week 1 starter. And I doubt they're going to bring in Dobbs to then just start Clayton Tune. Because what's the point? I mean, you could start Clayton Tune, bring in some, I don't know, grizzled vet as a backup. Maybe they would have just kept Colt McCoy, elevate Clayton Tune over him. But yeah, bringing in Joshua Dobbs kind of makes it seem like he's going to be the week 1 starter. It's going to be a rough season for the Cardinals, I believe. They sent away some players who were really good. I said really good. That were, I guess we say really good compared to the rest of the roster. Sent them out. And now you're bringing in a guy in Dobbs who has NFL experience. I don't know. It's like the Cardinals want to be relevant, in these games early on, maybe to bide their time until Kyler Murray comes up. It doesn't necessarily seem like they're completely tanking, I guess. I don't know. A lot of mixed signals coming from the Cardinals. But yeah, all signs seem to be pointing to Joshua Dobbs being the week 1 starter for the Cardinals. I mean, obviously, let me know what you think about that. As you can about the other stories I talked about already, Jonathan Taylor, Joe Burrow. Down in the comment section, I'm interested to see what you guys think about that. Josh Jacobs. Speaking of running backs, Josh Jacobs went through his own situation with the Raiders. Was, sitting in the parking lot ready to sign a new deal or whatever. Never came. Was kind of in limbo for a little bit. He's back with the Raiders after agreeing on a 1-year deal. He spoke today about it. He said no hard feelings. There was never any hard feelings. He understands it's a business. He also knows his value. So he's just ready to kind of put it behind him, get into the season, and hopefully perform. And I think that's the right way to go about it, if you want to be honest. It's been a talking point all offseason about the lack of value for running backs, the disrespect for running backs, phasing out of the running back position, or the traditional running back, I guess. I don't know, but it is what it is. Kind of what Josh Jacobs was saying. I'm sure he would love to see a situation where he can sign a 3-4 year deal or whatever. But that's just not what we're in right now in this era of football. I think it's going to be like this for kind of some time. You'll see a lot of teams, probably sign short deals with running backs because of the physical demand on the position. That they don't want to tie up too much capital into a guy. They're going to keep drafting guys and hoping one of them sticks. And so it's just all a process right now. And we'll see. We'll see what Josh Jacobs can do. We already know the limitations with the Raiders. The quarterback position, you got Jimmy G. There's questions with him in terms of durability. The organization as a whole has been very dysfunctional. They have a star wide receiver in Devontae Adams, but it seems like it's kind of a ticking down clock to when he becomes frustrated and wants out. They play in a tough division where if they drop some games early, they could find themselves already out of it. I don't know. It's a tough situation with the Raiders, but Josh Jacobs seems like he's in a good place. Once again, can't be mad at that. Okay. So, I had to throw in something about my team in here. Mac Jones, if you didn't know, once again, this ties into the cut down day. Mac Jones is currently the only quarterback on the Patriots roster. I'm not making that up. At least on the active roster, the active 53. Look, I don't think there were a lot of surprises with roster cuts, but as a Patriots fan, I was surprised to see Bailey Zappi and Malik Cunningham get cut. Now, they both have been re-signed to the practice squad, but they're still not on the active 53. Although maybe maybe one of them ends up on, because Tyquan Thornton is starting the year on IR. Although I do believe they still have the 53-man roster set, even with Thornton being out for the first 4 weeks. But I'm intrigued to see who's going to be the backup quarterback. Now, look, I'm fully expecting to see Mac Jones week in and week out. So part of me is like, I don't really care who the backup quarterback is. There were some moments after I saw Zappi and Cunningham both getting cut. I was a little bit confused. Yeah, I think it was just confusion because I thought Cunningham had a decent preseason. I feel like there's excitement there with him, but I do understand he's developmental. So putting him on the practice squad makes sense. You can use him to run the scout team. He can prepare the defense for Jalen Hurts week 1. Just saying. Zappy, who's like a fan favorite to a section of Patriots fans because they're not completely sold on Mac Jones. Him being on the practice squad is interesting. Although maybe that's a salute to Mac Jones because Patriots knows that if Mac Jones goes up against the Eagles and struggles mightily, there's going to be a lot of talk about why not just put Bailey Zappi in? Where's Bailey Zappi? Bailey Zappi this, Bailey Zappi that. By taking Bailey Zappi out of the equation and putting him on the practice squad, it's like a vote of confidence for Mac Jones. And maybe that leads to him performing better, although the other person in this picture, Bill O'Brien, will have a big voice in whether or not Mac Jones plays better this season. Because, look, he's the new offensive coordinator. He's completely opposite of Matt Patricia in that Bill O'Brien has experience as offensive coordinator, is known for being an offensive guy, whereas Patricia is like an offensive line type of guy, so him being offensive coordinator was a bit of a stretch. You know, Bill O'Brien's been in New England, so he understands the expectations. He understands the pressure put on the Patriots team by fans in that area. Look, I mean, not a lot of expectations for the Patriots in general this season. I don't think a lot of people have them making the playoffs or anything like that. But I do think it's a big season for both of these guys because Mac Jones, he's going into his 3rd season, which means a decision on his 5th-year option needs to be made soon. Bill O'Brien, if he's trying to get back into head coaching in the NFL, this stop will probably make or break that. But, yeah. And I'm pretty sure they have not signed a backup quarterback yet. Also, they cut Trace McSorley, but let's be honest. We all saw that coming. But, and then kind of what I alluded to, like looking around at necessary cuts, I don't know if anything was too surprising. I guess Colt McCoy getting cut in Arizona was kind of a surprise because we all assumed he was going to start because we assumed the Cardinals wanted to lose games, which the more I kind of think about that, does that necessarily make the most sense? Because they gave a bunch of money to Kyler Murray. He's sitting around injured right now. But they kind of had to see that contract through because they gave it to him, and I don't think he has trade value right now. But if they were to completely bottom out, get a top pick, with Caleb Williams there staring at them, what do? I mean, I think they probably trade out of that and get crazy amount of picks for it. But maybe it's a dilemma that they don't want to put themselves in. So if they're going to be bad, they're just going to be bad. You know, maybe like a top 10 pick. And they can kind of just take whoever they have on their draft board. But yeah, not a lot of interesting cuts to me. But then once again, to tie it in here, I guess with the backup quarterback position, you could look at maybe the aforementioned Colt McCoy, maybe an XFL quarterback gets the nod. I know AJ McCarron was there. He's got Alabama ties. Maybe he could be a backup quarterback. He performed well in the XFL, and he's a former NFL quarterback, so he could give Mac Jones some pointers and everything. But it's definitely a situation to be watching. Like I said, they still haven't signed a backup quarterback. Maybe that happens over the weekend. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I just wanted to do a nice little video kind of recapping stuff that happened during cut down day. But you let me know in the comment section. Was there a cut from a team that surprised you in any way? Put that down in the comments. We can talk about it there. At the end of the video, all my socials will pop up. Make sure you follow me over on those. For those of you who are into gaming, check me out over on Twitch. We'll be resuming the FIFA 23 series tomorrow. Plus, there's a big announcement for the Twitch channel that will be made tomorrow. So you should definitely go over there and check that out. Give me a follow there. But also, now that you're here, you've gotten to this point of the video. If you didn't hit the like button already, please go ahead and do so. Also, hit the follow, subscribe. Yeah, all that good stuff will really help me out. Greatly appreciate it. The channel is on the rise. Not just here on YouTube, over on Twitch as well. The Facebook group doing well. So I definitely thank all of you for that. And with that, I'll leave you with this. Be safe out there. God bless. And I'll catch you in the next video. Friday. Remember, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the schedule. Friday, we'll be talking about... Well, I think we're going to talk about what I'll be watching over the weekend. Plus some other news and notes that will probably happen between now and then. But yeah, so that's all I got for you. We're a week away from the season. I know I've said that probably 3-4 times already, but you have no idea how excited I am for this season. It's going to be compelling, competitive. Yeah, I'm just excited for it. Maybe get some watch-alongs going again. I know it's been a while since I've done one. When I do them, you guys really show out. So just got to figure out how to make that work. But yeah. Thanks again for tuning in. And enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you later. I'm out.